sorry, Anna. I wanted to fall in love with you, but now it's fucking Finger City.
See,
Showtime. Welcome to Hey, did you ever see that movie? I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by The Walking Dead. My co-host, Dylan.
The plan is you drink a nice tall glass of shut the fuck up.
Ha ha! She says that at least once a day. And joining us again, the podcast with a degree in terror, Tony. What's up,
hey,
Tony?
how you going? How's it going?
All right, tonight we will be discussing the 2004 zombie movie Dawn of the Dead, written by George Romero and James Gunn, directed by Zack Snyder, starring Vin Rames, Sarah Pauli, Jake Weber, Micaiah Pfeiffer, and Ty Burrell. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good for me. As
Mike Pfeiffer, that's fine.
Mike Pfeiffer.
No, I said Micaiah.
Micaiah. He's now feminine.
He's Jebediah.
All right. Pfeiffer. I didn't know Michelle Pfeiffer was in this. As always, this podcast will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch the movie, then come back and listen to the podcast. All right, so before we get started, as we've been mentioning, we are doing the YouTube channel now. Hey, did you ever see that movie? And it's picking up speed, so we got about over 100 listens in a week on the last episode, Blade Runner, but we didn't get a single like, and we only got one new subscriber. So we are begging you graciously. We are begging you graciously. We're saying, will you please stop the podcast right now? Just take a moment and just like the podcast if you are listening to it on YouTube. And if you could subscribe, we would appreciate that too. You can shut off the notifications so you're not being bugged every time we drop an episode. If you just want to help the show out by subscribing, and if you don't want to do those two things, that's fine. We appreciate you just listening to the show. So there you go.
Enough begging.
Yes, enough begging for our YouTube lives.
Love me.
Okay, let's do some quick opening thoughts. So I have seen this movie countless times, and I have very fond memories of it. I haven't watched it in probably, maybe 8 years or so. So the question is, did it hold the test of time? I don't know. Let's find out. Tony, have you ever seen this movie before?
I have. I saw it on opening night. Couldn't wait. Well, let me take it back. This came out around the time all the other remakes were coming out. The Amityville Horror remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, all the remakes were coming out. So I was already kind of against it. I mean, the original Dawn of the Dead is a landmark movie for me. It's easily one of the movies that I saw way too young. I shouldn't have seen it when I did. I had the stills. I had the Fangoria #1 that talked about Dawn of the Dead, and I fell in love with it early on. So someone doing a remake worried me. But man, I love this movie. So that's just going to say how the rest of this discussion is going to go.
Okay.
And where's our intro, this or that? I was so excited to do our
he's doing it. It's
Don't worry. It's all
right,
coming.
just making sure.
Yep. New format for YouTube. Dylan, have you seen this movie before preparing for the podcast?
Okay, so I only saw it once. I think you and I watched it years ago. I think we watched it on cable or DVD. I don't remember. I really enjoyed it then, and I was hoping it was going to hold up, and we'll get into it.
All right.
Oh, no.
Let's do some quick facts. I just got one on this. Although he had strong reservations about some elements, George A. Romero professed to be surprisingly impressed with how this film turned out. He should be, because today Dylan and I watched them both back to back, the original and this one, and I thought the remake was slightly better, just edged it out. Tony, do you have any facts on this?
On the new one, or just in general?
On the new one.
Shit, I got a lot of stupidity things. I love the fact that there's so many callbacks to anyone who really loves the first one. between cast members' names, stores being named original cast members, the original cast coming back for cameos. Just a lot of small little Easter eggs for the hardcore fans out there. And I think they did a great job. I love the fact that this is one of James Gunn's early movies. The fact that he's now a Marvel guy, well, DC guy now.
Yeah. Well, it was so
He's
weird to see Snyder and Gunn on this. I was like, wow,
right?
okay.
And it's fun that we're obviously Snyder. I have other thoughts. We'll get to Snyder's thoughts, but yeah, I mean, I love James Gunn. There's almost nothing. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that he's done that I'm like, oh, I'm not really a fan. Like everything always pushes the envelopes more than it should of what it is. Like he did that movie Super with the guy from The Office, way pushed the envelopes it shouldn't have done. Did the Scooby Doo movies, great movies for what they are. Even Guardians of the Galaxy is a PG Marvel movie, but he's got some jokes in there that when you stop and look at them, like that's some pretty fucked up shit. He does it for his fans. I mean, he came from trauma. He came from working on Romeo and Juliet. That was literally his first movie, is working with the Trauma Studios of Toxic Avenger fame.
Oh, nice.
So he started in New York with like the bottom of the barrel, movie stuff, and he's worked his way up, and I can appreciate that. And this movie shows this was his breakout screenplay, as far as I'm concerned.
So Tony, I got a question because we didn't watch the whole original because we ran out of steam, we couldn't do it. But was the line when hell runs out of room, the dead will walk the earth? Was that in the original?
When there's no more room in hell, the dead shall walk the earth. Yeah, the same character who says it in the remake says it in the original.
Okay.
His daddy was a priest, and he's looking out over the mall after they cleared it, and he basically delivers the same line.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's the tagline for the poster. It's a great line.
And it's funny because the reason I asked is because Romero said that he didn't think it was necessarily a great line, and he didn't spend any energy writing it. Apparently, he was just trying to wrap up the movie, and he was drinking one night, and he just wrote it down and was like, "It'll work." And it turned out to be just like one of the greatest lines in horror ever. Like, it's so good.
It really is.
It's so good. It's a deadly line. And there were, I'm glad I did watch some. We watched about 3/4 of the original. And yeah, we definitely got some, word for word exposition, like in the mall. Dylan, remember the scene where I'm like, oh, he said that in the new one. Same exact thing.
The thing about how they're just following the same patterns from when they were alive and stuff like that.
Why are they coming to the mall
here?
Yeah. So it was fun. Like you said, there were definitely some Easter eggs that someone that's only seen, part of the original was able to put together just on a first viewing. So yeah, really cool. All right. Hey, Dylan, did you have any facts on this or no?
No, the only fact I have is the fact that you told me, so I'm stealing it from you.
Okay.
Was the Hallowed Grounds coffee was actually a Starbucks kiosk.
Yes.
Isn't that what you told me?
Yes.
And they wouldn't let them use it.
Yeah. So they
but
just
I
called it
actually like Hallowed Grounds better. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. All right, we're gonna do a quick fast five. Tony, this one's more for you because I like on these Tony's Tales of Terror that it's more just the fast fives are just, written for you mostly. This one, there's a couple that I probably wouldn't even be able to give a educated answer on. So it's going to be Zombie Movie Showdown this week.
All right.
Okay, so number one, which zombie movie is better? Here we go. Number one, Zombieland or Shaun of the Dead? Tony, which one is better?
Dead. Shaun of the Dead. I didn't have to finish that answer.
Okay, Dylan.
Love Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is way better.
Okay, Shaun of the Dead is the correct answer because Tony said so. Okay, number two, and I do have an opinion on this one. World War Z or 28 Days Later? Tony, which one's better?
28 Days Later, without a doubt.
Dylan.
28 Days.
The correct answer is World War Z because it's the best zombie movie ever. Okay.
Terrible.
I fucking love that movie. It's so scary.
Terrible.
It's so scary.
Not. It's not.
Okay.
It's fucking Brad Pitt looking, I just have to act normal. Fuck you.
Okay.
Fuck you and you're stupid. You know why? Because I read World War Z, and it's an amazing novel by Max Brooks, and they bastardized it with Brad Pitt and a stupid production company because he wanted a fucking zombie vehicle and trying to make something cool. And it was decent, but it wasn't World War Z.
Okay.
Yeah,
28 Days Later, I have seen it maybe 2 or 3 times. Also very, very scary, but I just really like the
terrifying.
use. I like the use of modern day, CGI and whatnot to really make the hordes like just like the way they're able to just pile on top of each other, making over 100-foot walls. It's just wow, visually
See,
stunning.
I'll agree with that part of it, but I feel it was completely over the top stupid in World War Z. Now you take a movie like Train to Busan, who did the same thing, and it's fucking literally terrifying. The way that they do it and the CGI walls are built with these, literally there's like a zombie jumps on a train, another zombie grabs onto him, and it's like this train is dragging this 50-foot line of zombies, and the other ones are trying to crawl up it.
I need to see that.
Watch that movie.
I need
I
to
think you
watch
need
it.
to see it.
Okay.
Phenomenal movie.
Number 3, Dawn of the Dead, 1978, or Zombie
Yes.
2, 1979. Tony, which one's better?
Damn it. Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, Delin.
I don't know the other one, so I'm gonna have to go with Dawn of the Dead.
No, because we've seen Dawn of the Dead, so it's definitely Zombie 2. It can't be any worse than Dawn of the Dead.
Zombie has the eye splintering scene, and it has a zombie fighting a shark. Those
Okay.
are the two
Oh.
things that are awesome.
Well,
in it.
wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm all over it. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so correct answer is Zombie 2.
Mhm.
Number 4, Blood Quantum or Train to Busan. Tony.
Oh, Train to Busan.
Okay, Delin.
haven't seen either of them.
The correct answer
I'll go with
is
Busan.
Train to Busan because Tony said so.
Oh god, yeah.
And number 5, Brain Dead or 1985's Return of the Living Dead. Tony.
I really was hoping that wasn't the choice. No, that's a Sophie's choice. Can't do it. Can't
Gotta-
make that.
gotta-
They
gotta
are
say
both
one.
amazing.
But which
they are
one?
both.
If you were going to show
Oh.
someone their first zombie movie and these were the two choices, which one are you pulling out of your collection?
It depends who it is, because it's funny with a girl I dated. My second date with her was Dead Alive,
Nice.
and that cemented the relationship for the time.
So
But
Dead
Return of
Alive
the
is
Living
Brain
is
Dead.
So, yeah, Dead Alive is Brain Dead.
Okay.
And Peter Jackson's zombie movie, which was the bloodiest movie up until I think the remake of Evil Dead came out.
Okay.
For the amount of gallons of blood used. But Return of the Living Dead, man, how do you not just trash is taking off her clothes again? You know, it's like, come on, there's too many quotes that I use on a daily basis.
Okay.
I gotta go Return of the Living Dead. I hate it, but I have to.
Glenn,
I'm gonna go with Return.
Return of the Living Dead is the correct answer because 1985 was a kick-ass year.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Before we get rolling, I want to
Yes.
ask the question,
Sure.
Tony,
Yeah?
Des, running zombies or slow zombies?
Tony.
I am terrified by the running zombies because I'm a fat guy. So I know if that ever happens, I am the first gone. I have to just start shooting people in the knee, like, you know, like I can't. I'll never survive it. So running zombies. Yeah, I'll just stop there.
Dude, it's running zombies. I mean, come on, man. You watch these movies like the original Dawn of the Dead, and you're just going, just stop. There's no terror here. The zombie is crawling towards the person at 1 inch an hour, and somehow they catch this completely mobile human. It's
But
fucking
if we're
stupid.
talking in a quote, this is a dumb statement. I'm aware of how dumb the statement is. If we're talking a realistic sense, there's no way a reanimated body could keep the balance, keep the speed, keep the momentum going, no matter what urges are in there. The walking, shuffling, shambling zombies is more realistic, which makes it more terrifying, especially in large numbers, and you get easily overrun. The only reason I'm saying all this is because I'm literally on the middle of season 4 with my 14-year-old son, my
Of Walking
12-year-old
Dead?
son, of Walking Dead. So we started that together. So I'm explaining a lot with him. It's like, well, why don't they just like do this? I'm like, you don't understand. It's like, it's not, this is not, and he's trying to get it, he's being logical, but I'm like,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to suspend logic to enjoy stuff like that.
I
mean,
couldn't.
like I enjoy a slow zombie, especially Walking Dead style, but scary wise, a fast one is way scarier to me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm pretty quick. I think I would fucking survive a walking zombie fucking plague.
yeah,
All right,
just
let's
throw me down and keep going.
here, eat her. Okay. I'll eat you anytime. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ah.
Ew.
Ew. Ew.
That doesn't even go for my weird boner yet. So let's just keep going.
I don't know. I get a weird boner now. All right, let's do this.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so
Shall
with the box office, okay, with a box office budget of $26 million and a box office return of a mild $102 million, this was considered a enormous success. So there you go. All right, I will give you guys a synopsis and then we will get going. A nurse, a policeman, a young married couple, a salesman, and other survivors of a worldwide plague that is producing aggressive, quick, flesh-eating zombies take refuge in an awesome mall. Yeah, there you go.
Can't get any easier than that.
Still in. What's going on?
You're muted.
God damn it. I
You're
was
just
drinking.
not happy unless I'm fucking up all night editing this.
Oh, stop crying. It's one edit.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just writing it down for you to make your life easier. How about that?
1955.
All right. Here we go. Anna, a nurse, finishes a long shift at her Milwaukee County hospital and returns to her peaceful suburban home. She and her waiting husband, Louis, make love and go to sleep, missing the warnings that are beginning to trickle through the local media concerning a mysterious and rapidly spreading contagion, which turns its infected hosts into reanimated flesh-eating ghouls. The next morning, they're awoken by their zombified neighbor, Vivian, a young girl who bites Louis in the throat. Anna locks the zombie out of the room, but despite her frantic efforts, Louis dies. When Anna unsuccessfully attempts to call 911 for help, Louis immediately awakens as a reanimated zombie and chases Anna into the bathroom. Anna escapes out the window and flees from her now chaos-torn neighborhood in her car before a failed hijacking attempt sends her crashing into a tree. The opening credits roll, showing the worldwide collapse of the human civilization. So when Des and I were watching this, we were really kind of quite taken by the color of everything, like how bright the colors were. Like you have this bright green, and then the blood is like this bright pink red, and it was like so like visually stunning. I really appreciated the use of color. Des, what did you think of these scenes?
Yeah, the use of contrast is unbelievable in this. And yeah, you know, they don't get the color of the blood right, but it's fine because it jumps off the screen behind this like weird green filter they're putting on everything. So the blues, the reds, the purples, whatever they decide to use almost feels like a comic book to me. So it feels like I'm reading this like scary comic book, and it's really, really good. I really loved in the opening that they chose to make the little girl the neighbor's kid and not Anna's kid, because it shows that this is a tight-knit community, and it's so tight-knit and safe that neighbors are leaving their doors unlocked at night, presumably because the girl walks right in. And then we get the contrast. The director shows us how fast neighbors will turn on one another in a crisis, because the next morning, Anna's next door neighbor, is going to hold her at gunpoint and say, you know, get the fuck out of here. I'm not protecting you with my gun. And of course, we're going to get some instant fucking karma as he is flattened by an ambulance. So good. And finally, I really love the overhead shots of the city, these opening shots, and of the chaos and how fast paced it is with, like, you know, cars hitting each other at high speed. It just made me feel anxious. Like, this is what was missing from the first one. Like, I felt in the first one, like, I could get away as long as I was pretty quick on my feet and kind of just avoid the Walking Dead that were spread out pretty well. By these aerial shots, I'm feeling like there's no escaping this chaos. Like, you just can't escape it. And it's really scary. Yeah. Tony, what'd you think?
Okay. All right. So
the big breath.
outside of the remake of Friday the 13th, this is easily the best pre-credits sequence of like almost any movie, as far as I'm concerned. You forget you're watching, like, oh my god, the credits haven't even run yet, and all this chaos has happened. They give you so much in the first 8 to 10 minutes. It's mind-boggling. I love that you brought up the green tints, because everything is supposed to feel infected and sickly, and they just make you feel it right off the bat. The color, as much as they, you know, as the movie goes on, the colors do get better as far as the blood goes. But they did say, if I'm remembering right, they did say it was a tribute to the original because Tom Savini, the makeup artist, who also shows up in this as one of the cops,
Yeah.
he's the makeup artist who did like Creepshow, he did Friday the 13th, and he did the original Dawn of the Dead. Um, he didn't have a great recipe for blood, so all the original Dawn of the Dead blood looks like literally like tempura paint. So like some scenes in this, it was like a tribute to throwback, depending on how much got splashed around.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite part of any zombie movie is the moment it outbreaks. It's like I love the tension leading up to it. When the society breaks down, it's like that was my hardest part of The Walking Dead. It's like, and the same with 28 Days Later. You cut and you skip to it. It's already happened.
Right.
Night of the Living Dead, we see a little bit of it. We see a few here and there, but we're stuck in a household, budgetary reasons. This, you see the chaos.
Oh,
you see how fast it is.
Yeah.
You see like the shot. All right, taking it back a little bit. How fast he turns. He gets bit.
So fast.
She tries it. She calls 911 literally 3 times. I counted. It was 14 seconds. From the minute he fell on the bed to when he got back up and stood up behind her was 14 seconds. That's how fast this takes effect. So, I mean, you have no time to react. And she did what she could. Locked stuff in the bathroom, taking one of the badass falls I've ever seen in the movie. Like,
yes.
Backing into the tub, smashing her head, taking the curtain down. Totally, like, committed to this role. Everything about the opening is just phenomenal. When she finally gets out and, like, as you said, the stationary shot mounted on the car, her pulling out of the driveway, him running behind her, and then looking sideways and seeing the neighbor next to it, and then taking a beeline for the neighbor. It's like, oh my God, it's terrifying because they're so fast, the screaming they do, you're not ready for it. Because we all woke up going, oh, slow zombies, we've seen this before, good enough. And then this happens, like, holy shit, what are we in for?
Yeah.
And it breaks the rules of all we've seen before. Your point of the overhead shots, phenomenal. Everywhere, fires blowing up. The shot of the truck blowing the gas station up, but not before the news copter from Pittsburgh from the original Dawn of the Dead flies in front of the screen to give a little treat to us and then flies out. So, I mean, small things like that all through this movie are just like, again, before the credits even roll, I'm into this movie. I'm a fan. I'm totally involved. And then the credits start. And this has one of my favorite uses of soundtracks. The songs they choose, how they edit the credits together with news footage, archival footage, and special effects shots.
It feels so real.
So real. It's documentary style. And you see it's happening. I mean, they get shots from the White House. They get shots from Islam. They get shot everywhere. It's like you see how it's literally global. And it's realistic. Yes. And it's crazy. And I fucking love it.
Yeah. What I really loved about what you just said was how quickly her husband changes. So they don't break down the rules of this universe right away for us. So they kind of leave us to our own devices at first. So you assume that everybody that's going to get bit is going to change very quickly, but that's not the case. You have to die before you change. So the more severe the injury, the quicker you're going to turn into a zombie, which makes perfect sense, which we're going to get to a little bit later on, where someone gets nicked. So yeah, really, really great use of the rules too, which they do stick to and follow throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
All right. So Anna meets Kenneth, a grim police sergeant traveling to Fort Pastor, a nearby U.S. Army base. With the route to the base blocked by zombies, they and 3 others, jack of all trades Michael, petty criminal Andre, and his pregnant Russian wife Luda, break into the nearby Crossroads shopping mall. Inside the mall, a scuffle with a zombified mall security guard results in Luda getting a minor bite wound and Kenneth getting cut on his arm. They confront 3 living security guards, CJ, Bart, and Terry, and give up their weapons in exchange for refuge. After the group secures the mall, they head up to the mall's roof to dispose of the bodies and paint SOS signs. There they meet, quote unquote, another survivor, Andy, who is stranded alone in his gun store across the mall's zombie-infested parking lot. So you're pretty well set up in a mall to stake out for as long as you need to. You've got food, you've got everything you could possibly need. But one thing I said to Des that drove me absolutely bananas is you are in a mall. There's all this stuff here. There's a sporting goods store. Nobody gets like a catcher's like chest plate. Nobody gets like hockey pads. Like you're running around out there in flip-flops. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I
Des,
mean,
what did you think?
these characters definitely didn't utilize everything that was at their disposal, but it was fine. I honestly never questioned it. So director Zack Snyder, he did a masterful job of making me care about these characters. When we first see this group meet up at the beginning of the movie, they feel like disposable characters that were there to be forgettable victims, as they're picked off by zombies. And, why write them up and why have character arcs and why make me care about them if they're just going to be taken down like in most of these movies? But somehow by the end of the movie, I cared about every one of these characters. And I even got the feels at the end of the movie. At the end of a zombie movie, I got the feels. And there's one character in particular that's going to have an unexpected character arc that is really brilliant that you just never see coming. And it's just one of the small saisons of this movie that just make it special, a special zombie movie. I also like that we see Luda. Yeah, I like that we see that Luda's been bitten, but not like badly, just nicked. And she doesn't immediately change, and she doesn't change for a while. So, I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what's going on here? These rules are unclear, but they're going to get cleared up. And I like that because now I'm kind of having that anxiety, like, what's going on? How are they catching this? Why? And that's great. As far as the mall, it's the charm of the movie. This is what makes me love this movie so much. It's the end of the world. Nowhere is safe. Supplies are hard to come by. And our group is safe and sound on the second floor of a mall with every modern convenience, which is so cool. Like, this is so cool to me. I can't imagine having control of the top floor of the Braintree Plaza during a zombie fucking apocalypse. How great would that be? It's so comforting. It is. It's comforting though. It makes me feel good when I watch this. And it's because I'm a child of the 80s who loved going to the mall. So it feels familiar to me. And it's somewhere I would want to be during this ordeal. I would say if I was the guards, they should have had those elevators up on the second floor and turned off. And that's it. So yeah, there it is. Tony, what do you got?
Just because you just said it, I mean, I agree with everything you said. There's not much there that I wouldn't go, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that they literally are still in the first 24 hours of this shit going on. So no one's thinking like what's going on. No, everybody's just trying to survive. Whether it is, and the thing is, the guy who did go into the sporting goods store did drop his crowbar for what he thought was a better weapon.
The
Even though it was a
croquet
terrible
mallet,
choice.
though. That's a
Dude,
bad
he's not.
choice.
He doesn't. He didn't know what he was up against, allegedly.
Right.
So I mean, but it ended up working out, up through the face, which was a fucking amazing makeup effect.
Yes.
So good.
And that's the thing. This movie, I watched this. I mean, I watched the director's cut, and I watched all the behind the scenes stuff. And their makeup and their painting job, and their special effects team is just top notch. I mean, there's very few CG moments in this that I didn't, as far as like effects go. It's
Right.
almost all practical. And I figured that head had to be CG. No, he has the head. He pulls the head out, and it looks like a legitimate human being. Like not just that's a
That's
fake
awesome.
head. It looks amazing. Like just unreal. Um, no, I agree. The characters you don't see kind of like, all right, who's going to be, obviously Ving Rhames is the star power, and the blonde, Sarah Polley is the main character because we started with the beginning. But it's just like, so maybe they'll live, but yeah, you don't know who's going to go where with it. And I like that they didn't have big names aside from Ving Rhames, so anyone could go at any minute,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of cool. Um, Once everybody does get together there, you see like, all right, the security guards are throwing their dicks around. They're in charge of this place. CJ is being a dick because he thinks he's the boss. And I like how the TV sales guy talks to him.
Yeah.
Like he totally like obviously
Jedi
he's
mind
thought
trick.
about doing this. Yeah, he totally like you're still in charge, but I'm going to talk to you like a hostage negotiator.
What a
It's like,
great
oh, you
idea.
must. That's a great idea. That you must have thought of this, right? Oh yeah, of course you did. And it works, and that's how you have to deal with situations like this, which is why he's lived, and the smart people haven't, because the ones who throw the dicks around are the ones that rush into situations and get fucked up.
Yep.
There's just how fast things happen in this movie is just insane.
It
So
moves.
yeah, meeting Andy is pretty awesome across the relationship that will come out of that we'll get to, but yeah, I think that's where we cut. Oh, and the name of the mall. The fact that one of the stores on the outside is Galen Ross Shoes. Galen Ross was the only female lead in the original Dawn of the Dead, so I thought that was like,
Awesome.
I get that.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
Tony, I lost count at how many times I went, oh, awesome, when there was a
Yeah.
kill. Like, literally, I was saying it
Oh.
like at least a dozen times. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like you said, when he shoves the broken croquet fucking stick through that fucking guy's head, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
it's just like all bets are off in this movie. It's like nowhere, even though you thought you were safe, they showed that really no one's safe from anything, and everything comes so fast at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. Watch it on a gummy if you get a chance. Go ahead.
I did.
I did. Oh, nice.
So the next day, a delivery truck arrives at the mall. CJ and Bart disagree with the others about allowing the people in the truck inside and end up in the mall's brig for their trouble. The truck is carrying the driver, Norma, jerkish businessman Steve, working man Tucker, elderly Glenn, trampy Monica, bitten trampy Monica, bitten Frank and his teen daughter Nicole, and an anonymous also bitten woman. These newcomers report that Fort Pastor has been overrun by zombies and no help is coming. Shortly after, the bitten woman dies, reanimates, and is killed by Anna, who thrusts a metal fireplace poker in her eye. Fantastic kill. The group determines that bites are how the zombies multiply their numbers. After Anna and Michael argue about what to do with the rapidly deteriorating Frank, the man is isolated in a store with Kenneth to guard him, allowing him every single second before expiring. Michael and Anna achieve an awkward reconciliation, which is interrupted by Kenneth's shotgun blast as he destroys Frank's reanimated body. So we had a discussion about whether it was really stupid to let these people in or not, but it does move things along, and it's also really important for the knowing what's going on at Fort Pastor, knowing if anyone's coming to help them, and also figuring out how this is spreading. You can't do that unless you get more people into the space, right?
But they do eventually get the information when the army chopper goes overhead and doesn't even fucking wink at them. They know they're on their own. So they could have held out for information like that. But here's the deal, okay? If I'm CJ, because CJ's got the second floor locked down, he is in control at first. He's got two cronies underneath him. They've got everything they need to survive. So if I'm CJ and I'm the bouncer, it's ladies' night at the club, okay? It's ladies' night. Right from the beginning. Let's be honest. These are three young men facing the possibility of spending the rest of their potentially short lives together. Just the three of them. So the smart move is to let in like 5 to 10 women that are around their age with the hopes of possibly having some love connections. I mean, you're not going to, you know what I mean?
Tony,
No, let's be honest. Let's be honest. This is the end of the world, okay? So,
but they didn't know that at this time. At this point, look, 3 weeks into COVID, we are literally coming up on the anniversary of it. All my memories coming back. Fighting people for toilet paper, fighting people for sanitizing wipes. We didn't know how bad it was going to get. I know a bunch of us were waiting for the fucking martial law. It never happened. They didn't know at this point.
Come on, dude. At this point, I know that I need a potential girlfriend on the second floor with me.
Because that's the important part, not surviving.
Well, listen, it's not the important part. It is the important part, because eventually you're going to be banging your buddy in the ass like a year down the line. So,
wow.
So I mean, let's be honest.
Weird boner is not showing up in this episode at all.
All right. So there's no fucking way I'm taking in that box truck full of fucking zombies. But no, sorry.
I disagree.
No.
And again, it's still within the first 48 hours.
No.
They don't have the information. They haven't got it yet. The people that were coming in, obviously, they're driving. Like she said, how do we know they're not infected? Because they're driving and they're shooting guns. So they're obviously okay. It hasn't gotten to the point where, again, where I'm just, it's hard not to correlate, because I'm literally in season 4 of Walking Dead. They're past the point of any kind of good people still being around. Only the scavengers and the people who've stolen and killed to get where they are now are left. That's not where they are in this world yet. There's still good people just looking for help and camaraderie to try to survive the night. This is literally day 2.
If the
this has happened.
If the 3 security guards had just locked the elevators on the second floor, they could have lived there for fucking years. years and had no trouble. Every time they let somebody up in that elevator, their chances of survival drop like 18%. It's like not good.
But then there's
Well,
no movie. So
No, so if I'm CJ, the only one that's getting out of that elevator is Anna. You come on in, ladies' night. The rest of you go fuck off down at fucking Foot Locker on the first floor. I think there's an Orange Julius down there. Help yourself. You're fucking not coming
but I
up
mean,
here.
but that's what bugged me. It's like they never showed them clearing the mall. It's like, all right,
Right.
there was some that they got in the stores, but it's like, obviously we haven't gotten the parking garage yet, but the parking garage was fucking mobbed with them.
Right.
yeah.
Why didn't they do a sweep? Why didn't they just clear it out, block the doors like the original? That to me makes the most sense. Anywhere that, like, you don't, all right, we're at the age now that we've seen these for decades. Everyone's got a stupid zombie apocalypse plan. You've lived through it. What would you do? You would just live
Yeah.
on the second floor, shut down the escalators, and hope nothing found their way up some back stairwell. Because there has to be some stairwells.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I bet you got plenty of time to just, find all the entrance, points and secure them. Maybe I let a couple of more, like, a couple of, I mean, it's just my 3 dudes with guns and like
See,
a
you were just
handful
about
of,
to say it.
and a handful of women. That's what I need. There's plenty of capable women that could be potential love, girlfriend material that could also handle a gun or an axe. So
You
double
think with your
duty.
dick too much.
No, oh God,
See-
fuck you. A year after the zombie apocalypse, you'd be fucking looking for the pee-pee. All right? Listen,
Well, there's
we're
our
human.
intro.
So I also love the heart-wrenching scenarios that they're giving us. Watching a daughter say goodbye to her father, that was very sad. It was powerful. Watching a husband come to grips that his young family's going to die while putting on a strong face, gut-wrenching. These are human layers that take this zombie movie to unexpected places for me. Like, I was feeling for these characters. It was painful to watch.
It was just funny because the first time I watched, I remember sitting there going, I know I should be like more bummed out about this, but fuck that. That's Max Headroom. I know it's fucking Max Headroom.
Oh,
I
shit.
can't not look at him and see Max Headroom.
It's so funny.
But yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, but just the fact it's like he deteriorated so quickly.
Yeah.
He got bit, get her out of here. And the way they slowly pulled down the grate, Ving Rhames just laid the gun across his arms and like, we're gonna sit here and wait, buddy.
It's great. It's
and
powerful.
It happened quick. Yeah, it was. It was really well done.
Yeah.
That the attack when the old, wheelbarrow woman changed,
Yep.
which turns out was actually a guy, because they couldn't find a woman who would play that part.
Yeah.
So, it's just so insane. Like like you said, it was just such an amazing, like, just no hesitation, grab the poker right in the eye, goes down. Fuck this shit.
So good. So
good.
Yeah. Some of the little exposition we get, like between the father when he's, they're saying, we got to kill you. I'm sorry. And he's saying, she's lost everybody. She's lost her mother. She's lost everybody she cared about, them all she has left. It's fucking sad. I mean, I felt it. And then, the exposition that we get from, what's his name?
Asshole
Andre,
guy.
from Andre.
Oh.
Saying, he had a fucked up life growing up. He's never done anything right. And, he wants to just basically just give this kid the life that, he never had. And that's his one meaning for like surviving now. And, how crushing it is when he realizes that he's failed his family. He's failed this baby. It's fucking sad.
Yeah.
I just love Modern Family Guy because he's just so sarcastic and such a dick. And he's just he's like the perfect foil to everybody who's good in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just every time he's on the screen, I'm just like, oh, what's he gonna say?
But I loved him. And it was genius putting that comic relief in. He was great. He was absolutely great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because if you're having scenes like the daughter and the dad saying goodbye, you have to have somebody to make you laugh later. You have to, or else it's just the whole thing's such a bummer. You don't actually enjoy it.
Yeah. And you know what else I really loved about this movie was that it never really felt campy to me. Like if it did, it was only in a good way, like in the very beginning of the movie when they made the blood almost look pink. But again, it was like a comic book. It was fucking great. I wouldn't change it for anything. I loved it. Yeah, really great.
All right. So, though the mall provides many material distractions and the survivors begin pairing off romantically, the undead surround the refuge in ever increasing numbers. Finally, the mall's power goes out, and Michael, CJ, Bart, and Kenneth enter the underground parking garage to turn on the emergency generator. They meet a friendly dog who appears unharmed nor infected. They question this when a zombie suddenly bites Bart, which attracts more zombies that force the group to flee. While trying to avoid the horde, Michael and Kenneth reach the generator compartment, and CJ joins them when Bart is overwhelmed and killed by the zombies. CJ, Michael, and Kenneth are forced to leave Bart for dead. They eventually work together to douse the zombies with gasoline and set them ablaze. So, like I was saying earlier, for folks living in the mall, I don't understand why you're not going down there with like a little bit more protection. I don't quite get it. Like if you're gonna go down into a place that's potentially not been swept, not been cleaned out, like don't go down there in your Dockers. You got to throw something on with a little bit more protection.
So this is why he made this decision, because it doesn't need to be in the movie, and this is how I know it doesn't, because I do this for a podcast and I'm looking for shit like holes in the movie. I never thought about it once till you said it. Had they wrapped leather around the arms and stuff, or hockey pads, I'd have been like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, but they didn't, and I never questioned it for a second.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the part of the movie where I start saying, what would I do? I'm gathering every morsel of food from the first floor and then shutting down the power to it and locking the elevators again. I'm already starting to ration the food. If you think about it, 10 people could eat for a long time with the amount of food that's in that fucking mall. Think about it. Kiosks, candy bars, chips, nuts. I mean, dude, there are tons of food in that. Food that would last a long time in that mall. Like I noticed, you could probably find seeds in the hardware store and start a garden up on the roof. You know what I mean?
He
There's
stole that from
soil.
me. He
There's
stole
that's
that
a
from
lie.
me.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I'm never leaving this mall again, and I know it. I'm not going to get eaten by a zombie on the run trying to navigate zombie world. No, if I'm going to get eaten by a zombie, it's going to be on the second floor of that mall by some zombie that outsmarted me, and I'm going to be drinking a fucking latte at Starbucks. That's how I want to go in the zombie apocalypse, not fucking quivering in the back of a box truck. And I was happy to replace Bart with the dog. I hated Bart. He was a fucking idiot. Fucking window licking mother. He was the first zombie. He was as dumb as a zombie. Fucking moron. Tony, what do you got?
Yeah.
I confused him.
I'm pretty sure. The funny thing is, like, all right, hear me out. This might be a bit.
Sure.
Years ago, George Romero basically said to Tom Savini, "Hey, I want somebody to do a remake of Night of the Living Dead." And he did it. Tom Savini, again, good friend, did the makeup for most of his movies, did it. It was a really, really good, different take on it, but still the same. There's a zombie in it that gets basically hit by a car and bent in half. It's the fucking doofus from this movie. It's the same. I swear it's the same guy. He literally gets bent in half. He's got this big crushed nose. I'm like, that's the same fucking guy. I agree with you on all of it, except looking around the sporting equipment, because I thought the same thing. Like, why aren't they like gearing up? It looked more like a sneaker store. Like when I went back and looked, it was like very like random things. It wasn't like a lot of anything they could protect themselves with. And there was no gun shop in this mall like the original Dawn did. Obviously, they had it across the street. I had a point. God damn it.
Oh shit.
There's just so much. There's just like, that was it. The fact that you can live for a really long time. They never really gave you a time frame of how long they were there. It definitely seemed like at least a month is how I took it.
No.
Because towards 3/4 of the way through, you don't think so?
No, because fucking the dipshit we were just talking about, fucking Bart is talking about how he's got a date with the girl from the Dairy Queen. So presumably,
no, after that. But I mean, after that, I'm talking like the entire time from the moment.
Oh, okay.
From that,
the montage.
From the moment they get in, yeah, the montage. You see they're there. The two young ones fall in love. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but it's like, and then, but towards the end of that, I'd say 3/4 of the way through the movie, he's like, oh, they're down at hallowed grounds. It's like, oh, where's that lemon stuff? Oh, he likes it in his coffee. They're already starting to run out of food.
Right.
Things they like are being used too fast.
Yeah.
So they're starting to see, all right, we're not going to be able to last here. So that's starting to put a seed in everyone's mind. And then I start seeing these zombies getting in like down the garage. Then there's like the doors are a little weaker. It's like then the guy across the street needs food, and things start to happen. It's like, all right, it's putting the pressure that we need to leave.
No
We're
way.
not gonna be able to stay here. Whether you stay on the second floor, you pull your fucking seeds out and do it, whatever. It's like the way they presented in this movie, there was no way they were going to be able to last there for at least a year. Like,
Listen,
you got to
if
think
I'm
of it that way.
if I'm CJ, as soon as I notice the limoncello is running out of Starbucks, I'm killing everybody in their sleep. Okay, killing everybody in their sleep, and I'm the only
Dylan.
one living on the second floor of the mall. Okay,
Dylan, I'm so sorry when the time comes.
Good Lord.
You should basically take this podcast and put it in a safe somewhere and go, if I ever disappear, this is why.
Oh my God. Well, see,
Okay.
because we also had this, and of course, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but we had a discussion about how Andy's running out of food. He's hungry. And later on in the movie, you find out that if you go through the sewers, you can get within like 2 feet of his door. And it's like, how come you didn't have him load up everything he had and
Right?
come down through the sewer like a month ago? Like,
Yeah, like he's got a gun. Like he could have literally sat on the roof, cleared out that entire street with a fucking shotgun, walked to that manhole, and fucking just gone over to the mall. But
Yeah.
I'm feeling like CJ didn't want him there. So at that point, that information was on a need to know basis, and
True.
nobody needed to know because CJ didn't want him over there. CJ didn't want anybody there. He had it right from the beginning. He had it right from the beginning. And bullshit, if me and you went to the Braintree Plaza tomorrow and collected all the food in that entire plaza and brought it up to one area, you would have enough food for 5 people to eat for probably a couple of years if you rationed it. There's a lot of food there. A lot
But
of
is it
food.
perishable or is it like stuff that
Dude,
will last? That's the other thing you
Just
have to
think
look
about
at.
this. Yeah, I mean, you think about the packaged food that would last. I mean, there's probably a year's worth of just potato chips at the plaza. Just potato chips alone. Not to mention whatever you're going to get from all the food courts, the kiosks, the candy stores. Come on.
I don't
There's
know.
a
I can eat an
lot
awful
of-
lot of Auntie Anne's.
Well, if I had you there, I'd be fucked. We'd be out of food in a fucking day or two.
Damn.
if I was with Tony and Delin, I'd be screwed. I'm a skinny guy. I don't eat a lot.
So you're the first one we eat.
Oh shit! It wouldn't be good eating. It wouldn't be good eating.
No, it's stringy.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
She's thought about it.
Very
I bet
gamey.
I bet that des meat would just fall off the bone if you slow roasted it with a little cumin and rosemary.
And
Secret
we're moving
meat.
on.
Secret meat on Bobby Flay is Des. Okay,
All
very
right,
secret
moving
meat.
on.
Des.
Yuck. All right. Andre, faced with the fact that Luda will soon die, sinks totally into denial, and his heavily pregnant and very infected wife is tied to a bed in the mall's children's store, which is so fucking creepy. As she gives birth, she dies and then reanimates. Norma is going to check on the couple, discovering the zombie Luda and the demented Andre clutching a small bundle of blankets. Norma shoots Luda, causing Andre to snap completely. They exchange more gunfire in a very slow motion shootout, and both are killed. Anna arrives on the scene and opens the bundle to reveal a zombie baby. She pulls out her revolver, and a single shot rings through the mall. So to me, this scene really shows a huge change in Anna. You know, how she's kind of adjusted to this new life, because earlier in the movie, she was fighting to keep people alive and everything else. And she literally pulls out a gun and caps that baby's ass so fast. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, you'd even think like she'd for a second just be like, it's a baby. I feel terrible. Nope. Boom. Doesn't care. So
Yeah,
it shows a shift in her.
Because these people are starting to realize they've been making dumb choices that is going to fucking ultimately cost them all their fucking lives. Like it's now kill or be killed, every man for himself, self-preservation, no more bad decisions. And
Yeah.
so yeah, for sure, everybody is forced to make tough choices here. You know, we see Andres failed his family. He literally now, like he said earlier, has nothing left to live for. And he is willing to die to protect this little zombie baby. Like he knows it's a zombie and he doesn't care. He is going to die for it. Norma, she's willing to die for the group. She understands now that she has to do what she
Shoot
has
to
to
kill
do.
any zombie she sees.
Any zombie she sees. And that includes the baby, because the baby's going to bite Andre and then he's going to become a zombie. So people are forced to make these tough choices. And so this scene, with all the excess shots and all the slow motion of falling bullet shells hitting the floor, I found the shootout scene to be disturbing, but I also found it to be campy and hilarious at the same time. And I loved it. They knew right. They just knew how to decompress the movie at the right times, because dude, it's hard to watch a baby get shot and all this stuff. And you're dealing with all of these, you're dealing with all these really heavy fucking scenes. And he was smart enough to say, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just give him this awesome scene. I'm gonna put a smile on everyone's face. And it did, and I thought it was great. But then Anna has to cap the baby, and it's fucking heartbreaking. It sucks. But it's great. Tony, what do you think?
Let's put this lighthearted baby death in the middle of it. Yeah, that's funny.
Shit.
That's fuck. What podcast am I on?
No.
That's some fucked up shit.
No, the light part was the slow motion shooting with the shotgun shell, with the shells hitting the floor and them shooting each other 20 times each. The baby killing was horrifying.
I actually dug it. I thought it was just they're both trying to, I read too much into stupid shit like this because that's what I do. I just, it's like one shot isn't going to do it, because they both have such a struggle and a will to live in this world that they shouldn't be living in, because they know what's around the corner when they die. So it's like they're both fighting. It's like shot after shot after shot. It's like, who's going to fall first? And I get the point of it. Was it overdone? Yeah, one shot could have killed both of them. But, it's like she's a badass. He was a badass. We knew how it had to go. Now, let's just go back a step and talk about how fucking amazing this entire scene is lit.
Amazing.
When we are fucking brought into the, as soon as it cuts, it's a bang cut with a close up of the zombified her face with this green light on it, screaming into the camera. That's how the scene starts, and it's like, and it doesn't let up until the blood shoots out from between her legs, and he steps back.
It's so good.
And you know what's gonna fucking happen. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're gonna do this. It's like, I racked my brain, and outside of Dead Alive, which was a fucking comedy, there's no other zombie baby ever, as far as I can come up with in cinema. Maybe there is, and I'm just missing it. I know there's zombie dolls and there's zombie things, but this, and watching it, it's like, I can't even imagine, like, wow, that's balls to do that. And just to show it and the scream it gives, and then the cutaway with the gunshot, I'm like, oh, that's fucking dark. Yeah. It's like this movie just kicks you right in the dick, and I love it. It's fast, boom, 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 and because that's the scene that makes it go, now we have to amp shit up. Yeah. And it doesn't let go from that point on, as far as I'm concerned.
And that zombie baby.
They did a great job. It's a quick shot, but it looks amazing.
It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the CG that they obviously had to put the eyes on it, and it's just awful. I love the montages that they've put in here, because again, the soundtrack they choose is such irony. It's like they do, when they're showing them living in the mall and like everybody's getting together doing things, it's the Richard Cheese version of Down with the Sickness, which is hysterical.
Yep.
It still has the message there, but you're taking it like harder. They're showing people fucking, and they're showing the old guy comes out and he's trying on women's shoes and he's gay, and it's like there's all these weird little things going on. You're like, what the hell's going on? Like, all right, I'll just go with it. And that's when we get introduced to when Andy and Ving Rhames are communicating by whiteboard and binoculars, which is genius.
Yes.
It's a great way to set up this really great relationship. So when Andy actually gets hurt, you feel for him. He's not just this throwaway character, because you see the struggle, and they keep showing him through the binoculars, getting thinner and thinner and more gaunt, and you tell he's struggling. And then they, the whole kill Burt Reynolds, kill Rosie O'Donnell game. It's the levity, but it's still showing how fucking twisted this world is becoming.
Yeah. So, and also, this sets up a callback we get later during that Hollywood Squares thing. Steve says to Anna, if I'm one of them, I want you to, put a cap in my ass too.
She says, count on it.
Count on it. And later on she does, but I love the setup, because you kind of have forgotten it by the time it happens. So
Tony, there are no throwaway characters in our main group.
No,
there's none.
None at all.
Yeah, I mean, even the wise ass fucking comic Dick, you know, he's you're invested in his character. You know what I
Yes.
mean? He's a dick,
Oh,
but it's like you want him
yeah.
there.
Well, you need him because he's got the boat. That's what
Yeah.
we come to find out, which we haven't gotten to. But it's like he is the linchpin to everybody escaping,
No, to
and we
everybody
need him.
dying.
Well, yeah. All right.
All
You know,
right.
yeah, we're having candlelit dinners, steak dinners. Everybody's fucking in a completely fucking done to the hilt fucking bedroom with queen size beds and fucking plasma TVs. Let's go to an island that might exist on a boat. Let's get out of here. I'm tired of these. I'm tired of these lovely fucking date nights
Okay, so
and
like
and and lattes.
yeah, like what I said to Des was this. So like if you go to this island, my assumption is say it's zombie free. Say there's no zombies on it. You still need to find a way to make crops, make food, have some livestock, like something so you can survive. You can't just go to this island and just exist. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah, but
So
You
my
live
point
off
being,
fish.
No, dude,
I
have you
mean, you
watched
could
the
eat fish,
show?
but
Have you watched Alone? Have you ever watched the show Alone? These are survivalists that like pride themselves off being able to like build a fucking Hilton in the middle of the woods with a fucking buck knife. They go on this show and like within fucking 90 days, they're like, "Mommy, come get me. I'm starving. I can't do this." These fucking 5 dipshits that are almost starving to death at a fucking Starbucks kiosk are gonna get off this boat and create a new civilization on a fucking remote island. No, they'll all be eating each other in fucking like 2 months.
Okay.
It's a
So
shit idea.
what my original idea all right. So again, going back, Max Brooks wrote the Zombie Survival Guide. Fucking genius book. I don't know if you've read it.
No,
Have you read it? It's
no.
no.
hysterical. It's a fiction novel. Obviously, it basically says, "Hey, from the great zombie apocalypse." It goes back through history and says different uprisings have been quelled by the government. Like picks out different things and literally teaches you how to survive a zombie apocalypse. The rules are fucking genius. It's an amazing book. It's like always choose blades; they don't need to be reloaded. Keep your hair short; you can't get pulled. Tight clothing; they can't grab onto it. Use a bike as opposed to something engine because it won't draw attention. The rules are just it's all read it.
I love it.
Anyway, I read that book and I'm like, this is what my zombie apocalypse plan is going forward. I lived down off of Island, South Padre Island down in Corpus Christi. Literally a mile, not even a mile off the beaches. There are those offshore drilling sites. The offshore platforms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Water filtration system, self-generating. Have gardens online. Everything, you grow your own shit there, and you fish off the side. You get on a plane as soon as shit starts happening. You get down, you get on a boat, you climb those fucking ladders. Zombies can't fucking float. Zombies can't walk underwater. You're safe. You get on one of those things, you live your days there.
Yeah,
They're
but you have
meant to be self-sufficient.
you have to be well armed because if somebody's armed just a little bit better than you, then you're off the side and they live on the platform now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I'm saying that's where you go. No
Yeah.
fucking island. Because you're right. You're still out in the open. You're in the middle of a fucking jungle. You need security. That has it built in around it.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate zombie apocalypse plan.
Yeah.
This island
Bitch.
plan is fucking garbage. Go ahead, Dylan.
All right. So at an impromptu memorial, Kenneth says anything is better than sitting around waiting to die. I disagree, Kenneth, but okay.
Anything's better than sitting around drinking lattes and having steak dinners. Let's fucking head back out to zombie world.
The remaining mall dwellers thus plot to fight their way to a local marina and from there travel out on Steve's small yacht to an island in Lake Michigan. They reinforce 2 small shuttle buses. I can't figure out why they had to have 2. One would have done, but okay. Removing the seats, welding on a snowplow, attaching metal bars and floodlights, stringing barbed wire, boarding up the windows, and cutting slits for the deployment of weapons. Chainsaws, propane tanks, and other supplies are also loaded on board. Meanwhile, poor Andy is starving, and he will not have the strength to join the escape and much needed ammunition. So the mall survivors strap a pack of food on Chips, the dog from the basement, and lower him into the parking lot in a sling. Unfortunately, while Chips makes it safely to the gun shop, a zombie sees the dog get in and follows him and bites Andy. Nicole, distraught over Chips, takes over the delivery truck and barges her way into the gun store, where a now zombified Andy traps her in a closet. Okay, it's stupid as hell to go over there for the dog. The dog is fine. You're a dummy. And this is coming from the woman who demanded the minute they showed a dog on screen. I said to Des, "Does the dog die? Just tell me right now, because just you have to tell me now so I know." And he wouldn't tell me if the dog was going to die. But I was like, "I need to know. Tell me, tell me."
So the deal is the dog is the only survivor of the entire film because he winds up on this island and zombies don't eat dogs and you hear him barking. So the dog is the only survivor. But so at this point in the movie, if I'm CJ, this is where I bid farewell to all my guests. I say, I wish you all the best of luck on your fucking little trip out to the island. This is like Michigan. Do you know how many people have boats on Lake Michigan? Even if this island exists, and even if you can get to it, there's already Michigan. There's plenty of guns as well as boats. There's already a militia of probably 50 people from the area that have gone out there with guns, food, their boats. You're going to show up and they're going to be like, nope, get the fuck out of here. No one's just like CJ should have done right in the beginning. He had the high ground. He had the weapons. He had the food. He had everything. And now he's fucking sucking zombie dick in the back of a fucking cargo truck. Yeah. So like I said, this is why I just tell them to fuck off. And if I'm CJ, I'm just staying on the second floor and living my days out. So I get it why Nicole's willing to die for this dog. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, her father had already said she's lost everything, everyone. She's distraught. She's not even, she's so fucked up by everything now. This dog is the only little bit of love she has left. She doesn't even care about
that
life.
Boy.
She's known this boy for fucking a half a second.
And she's known the dog for even less.
She's insane. My problem wasn't that she went after the dog. That wasn't my problem. Because I might have gone after Mr. Jinx in the same situation, okay? My problem is that Andy couldn't fucking whip that thing up, grab a sandwich, and put it down before the fucking horde got through that tiny little door. Like, dude, there's no way if I'm Andy, I'm making this mistake. Like, you've got the gun. You pop off fucking everything in front of the store. Pop, 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 pop. There's nothing. Dog, come in. Thanks for the sandwich. Bob, leave. What is Tony? Go. What the fuck?
I mean, I watched the Blu-ray I got has Andy's tape of what because he was taping himself in it for his own.
I heard about
historical
that
stuff.
What is that?
And it's literally just it's him setting the camera up when things first started. You know, it's his version of the movie.
Okay, yeah,
it's just him in the gun store. And when that happens, he's like, you know, it's like I don't know if it's just because I'm malnutrition or what. I just wasn't fast enough. But man, that bastard bit me. It's like, you know, but it's like I'll be all right. I got sandwiches now, and I'm doing all right. It's like I'm just gonna lay down for a minute, and then he like goes out of camera, and then he comes back up. He's got the zombie eyes. It's like, oh, that was fucking fast. So it was good. Cool. And he gives a reason why it happened. But yeah, I agree. It shouldn't have fucking happened. He should have been really on top of it, adrenaline wise, whatever. And her going after it was the worst part of the movie. And let me take it back. Second, the worst part of the movie. Everyone else following her through the fucking sewers was the worst part of the movie. Everybody literally coming up through the street in the middle of this. They're not protected. There's no one covering their asses. It's literally just them in the dark, hoping they can get through the van and open that door.
This is the only problem.
It was just dumb.
The only problem I didn't have with it, though, is that it served as a device to get them in the gun shop to get tons of ammunition, the propane tanks, the butane tanks, whatever, propane tanks. They did a stock up. You know, like if this is a video game, they went in, they reloaded all their weapons, they got their bombs, they got all the shit they needed to get. So at least he didn't at least it wasn't a bad scene that shouldn't have happened. Her going over there. That didn't work as a positive plot point for the movie. Like it worked.
No, I agree. It worked. It was just with the rest of the movie, which seemed all realistic decisions. This is one they wouldn't have made that decision. As stupid as CJ was for letting them all in, this was the stupidest one. CJ even going over, even though we see CJ's amazing story arc and the way he goes from A to Z, he wouldn't have. I don't think he would go that route.
No.
I love how he gives the guy that breaks his legs the two guns and is pulling him, and the guy that
awesome.
it was awesome.
It treads being campy, but in a good way. Like they just knew what they were doing when they built this movie. It's got a little
Oh
of
yeah.
everything. It's a buffet of everything that I love about lightweight horror, which is what I can handle watching horror movies, what I enjoy.
You're a lightweight.
I'm a lightweight.
All right. So Kenneth, Michael, CJ, Terry, and Tucker gather their meager weapon supply and go into the sewers, while Steve is assigned guard duty on their exit door. They reach the gun store where they kill poor old zombie Andy, rescue Nicole, and stock up on weapons and ammunition. A detonated propane tank is used to clear a path back to the sewers, but the zombies pursue them. Along the way, Tucker breaks his legs and, despite CJ's desperate attempts to pull him to safety, is attacked by the pursuing zombies, forcing CJ to shoot him dead out of mercy. Thanks to Steve's negligence, the zombies force open the exit door. The survivors pile into the buses and smash out into the parking lot, where another propane bomb is used to clear a path through the waiting horde. When Glenn moves to take out the last hitchhiking zombie with a chainsaw, a sudden swerve sends a weapon slashing into Monica's shoulder. The resulting splatter of blood covers the windshield, causing Kenneth, the driver, to lose control and crash. Glenn and Monica are killed, while Steve flees the toppled bus and gets attacked by the hitchhiking zombie. So enjoy that, Steve. Des, the special effects when the propane tank bomb knocks over all the zombies like a dominoes is completely fantastic. What did you think of these scenes?
Amazing. So before we do that, I want to just tell the listeners. So I listen to the podcast sometimes, just like I'll go back and listen to some of the archives. So we did The Strangers with Tony. Okay. If you guys want to hear a fucking great podcast, it's just fucking hilarious. Go back and listen to The Strangers. Go back and listen to The Strangers.
Tony looks like he's gonna kill you.
First of all, I lost my fucking mind on that episode. Like I literally lost my shit, and I almost lost one of our co-hosts because I think Tony and I saw that the same way. Okay, so I enjoyed the rescue scene. Like I said, I get it. They re-upped everything. It was important to the plot of the movie. But it definitely made me wonder again why they didn't have Andy escape a little sooner. I'm assuming it was CJ, but whatever. The overhead shot of the zombies, the horde of zombies surrounding those two trucks is fucking terrifying because you realize how badly they underestimated the size of this horde once they get into it. Like thought they were going to be plowing their way through it when it turns out that the horde is literally almost got them at a standstill. Like they almost can't even go forward. And they're at the point where this horde can easily flip these vehicles over. And I am shitting my pants when they fucking zoom out and you see this ocean of zombies. Just these two vehicles look like twigs in the ocean. And it's really, really great. It's great. And the thing I hated about this scene though is, and I see this in horror movies all the time, I fucking hate when people drive faster than they need to escape. And you see it all the time. And I'm just yelling, slow down. You're going to crash. You don't need to drive that fast. Like you should be driving slow and steady, methodical. Try not to pop tires. Try not to blow up the car. Like just
10 and 2, baby. 10 and 2.
10 and 2. Get to where you're going. They're driving so fast. They eventually just flipped it. It's bad. When it crashed, I literally rolled my eyes and went, mistake. Shouldn't have done it. Tony, what do you think?
Everything you said, 100%. Just the underestimation of what they were getting into was just overwhelming, and that's one of the things that I love in every zombie movie is when you finally get the pullback and you see how much, like, there's nothing better than a horizon full of just figures, and there's been other movies who've done it, but this is the first one that made me go, holy shit. And even because World War Z was just fake looking. Every CG in that was just too fake looking. Day of the Dead had a decent one, but this one was the first one that made me go, holy shit, this is kind of crazy. There's a French movie called The Horde, which is another, like, completely no one knows about it. It's a fucking shame, but it's a great movie. It's like, I don't know if you've seen The Raid.
No.
The Raid, it's like The Raid, all right, it's this building, these undercover cops, off-duty cops. One of the cops was killed. I know I'm totally off a tangent here. Stay with me.
Go for it.
So it's these cops whose partner was killed by this drug dealer. Drug dealer holds up in this high rise with all of his drug dealers. They break in off duty, off the board, throw the badges away. Fuck, we're just gonna kill them. They come face to face with them. They're standing off. All of a sudden, the guy they killed in the hallway sits up, and the zombie apocalypse happens in the middle of the standoff.
Oh,
So you have
Oh
nice.
wow.
cops, drug dealers, and zombies,
I
and
love
it's
it.
this amazing action movie. It's like gun fu craziness. It's awesome. But this is
Gun
the
fu.
closest one that has that scene because towards the end of the movie, one of the cops is surrounded in his car by this ocean of zombies before CG. So it's like this came close to it, but look for the Horde. The Horde's a great movie. Um, I just the scene blew me away. The only thing that bugged me is now that I'm watching the scene when the zombie who grabs the propane tank lifts it up. It's almost like that one in the Lord of the Rings at Helm's Deep. He's just like, I'm gonna go with this and I'm gonna run with it, and it blows up and it's great. 100% same thing. Don't speed through the zombie apocalypse. You're gonna crash. You're gonna run into some car that some idiot parked somewhere. It's just 100%.
They didn't need to
But
go that
you
fast.
had to. Oh, and the fucking chainsaw scene. Holy shit! Resident Evil
Oh
4
yeah.
chainsaw scene right down the shoulder, down the middle of the chest. Shocked me when I saw it. Shocked me again last night when I watched it. I'm like, oh, I forgot that's how it goes. And it was
Yep.
so violent. They showed it, which
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. I figured like, all right, oh, I fell on you, and then we'd see the aftermath. No, that fucking thing went right down her
Right
fucking
through her. It was like
sternum.
like you said, the
Oh,
old gay guy turned into Dr. Salazar real fast from Resident Evil 4.
Dude, Tony, you know what was great about that Horde? Like you said, so now that you say it, I'll agree with you. World War Z, it looked plastic and fake, and these zombies didn't have a lot of personality opposed. I mean, in contrast to this one, where this Horde looked like if you were looking at a concert, like an Aussie concert or something, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it looked like a real crowd surrounding two trucks. And
Yeah.
that's what made it so terrifying. And I think it
yeah.
was, right? Like this wasn't like, were these real people?
I
Was
don't
this
think
a
I don't think
crowd?
the I don't think the explosion overhead obviously
No,
was,
yeah,
but
no. But I
Yeah.
no,
think some of
they
these,
had hundreds and hundreds of extras. One of the
yeah,
behind the scenes is like they had three different types. They had the focus zombies, they had the medium zombies, and then they had the extra zombies, the background ones. So when
Right.
they'd shoot a big scene, you get the ones in the focus; those got the most work and the latex work. Second ones had some masks. The ones in the back got the gray makeup and some shit slathered on them. That was it. But
Yeah.
no, they said they had like 100 to 200 extras like per day
yeah.
Wow.
on this
It
movie,
it
so it was
it
crazy.
felt like a big organic crowd. Like I felt it looked like a real crowd of people, is my point.
Yeah. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, this whole thing with the Andy thing and going to save Nicole, it forces them to jump into the trucks and leave. They don't
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do
Yeah. Yeah.
not take like because I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't you like try to like create like a space that you can get out of somehow, like use a distraction or like send them all going that way, and and you
Everything goes
can't.
sideways. Everything goes
Everything goes
sideways.
completely sideways. So
Yeah.
yeah, the I don't even think if they underestimated I think they just thought that they were gonna just go and just you couldn't,
No.
you know?
No.
because if you look in the van, there's no food. There's no
Yeah, they
cases of
weren't
water. There's
ready.
no cases of food.
Yeah.
They just jumped in and ran.
Wow.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
it's still a year's worth of fucking scones and fucking lattes to go. Just leave it at fuck that.
All right. So the others scramble for the second bus, meeting Zombie Steve en route. Anna, in our lovely callback, shoots him in the head and then lingers long enough to get the boat keys off his corpse, allowing more zombies to catch up with them. Anna flees back to the bus where Michael helps her inside. After a short struggle, they pull away and speed to the marina dock where they crash the bus and dash for the boat. Cornered in the bus by their pursuers, CJ detonates a final propane tank, blowing up the vehicle, the zombies, and himself. The remainder of the group gets on the boat except for Michael. He was bitten when helping Anna. Anna pleads with him to come and he watches as the boat sets sail with Terry, Anna, Kenneth, Nicole, and Chips on board. Anna watches unflinchingly as Michael draws out his pistol, places it under his chin, and the gunshot rings out over the water. So now our end credits roll, but interspersed with that is video footage taken by Terry using a camera from the boat. Following a grim voyage where water, fuel, and food supplies all run low, the remaining survivors succeed in reaching an island only to be immediately attacked by a new swarm of zombies. As the survivors attempt to retreat to the boat, the camera falls to the ground and blacks out, leaving the ultimate fate unknown. So it was nice to see CJ have his hero turn at the end because, he started out as a turd and I love the outro music. You know, all the people that die. It was fantastic. Des, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I love the fucking villain to hero arc with CJ. And they didn't beat you over the head with it. It was a slow burn for sure. And I cared about him, just like I cared about every single person that died in this movie, except the fat woman in the wheelbarrow and Bart, or whatever his name was, the dipshit. So this is perfect, this end here. So they could have gone two ways with it. I mean, I'm rooting for Michael and Anna the whole time because I like them. They're likable characters and they're gonna fall in love. And this goes back to the point that I made that you guys were ripping me on. They've got somebody now. They're lucky. They were around each other. They were single. Love blossomed naturally, and now they can spend their lives together. Where a lot of people are just gonna fucking be alone now. And that's why it was important to bring a bunch of single chicks into the mall if you're CJ. So you can fall in love with one the way Michael got lucky and did with Anne.
He didn't do that for that purpose. It just
I
happened.
know, but it happened. And
that was
and you
the
know what?
point.
Spending a year at Starbucks with 6 chicks, it's gonna happen naturally with one of them. Okay, so that's why I'm fucking planting the garden.
Okay, let it go.
Okay, well, it's important. So anyway, it could have gone either way. I would have been fine with him going with her, but for a movie that's been this for a movie that's been building up characters this much, I'm so glad this is the way they went with it, because they kicked the puppy one time for me at the end, gave me the feels. It made the movie feel deeper. I fucking loved it. It's just so good when they say goodbye, and I love the end. I mean, it's so stylistic. It's almost like a Rob Zombie fucking music video. It kicks ass, and I love that the dog lived. The end. Thank you very much, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first saw it, and literally, like every time I watch it now, it's like when he like pulls his arm out and shows these bit. I remember everyone going, "Oh no!" Like literally,
Yeah.
like because this is back, early 2000s, so everybody's like still talking in the movie theater. It was great.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's such a bummer because shit, he's such a good guy. The one thing that always I can't let go is, again, I'm giving this movie duration a month. They were there maybe a month. She was in love with her husband. She wouldn't miss date night. She couldn't wait. She switched her weekends to get home and see him. She loved her husband. She broke down when she realized I killed my husband this morning when she was trying the sneakers on when we first meet her. She's not going to fall in love with someone that quick. I don't care what circumstances. I don't care what end of the world scenario is going on. She's going to mourn. That's the impression I got. She's a nurse. She's empathetic, but you can be as far removed from death as possible, but not from your husband. So her arc with him always bothered me. That's just me.
Here's the rub,
I see
though.
your face.
Here's the rub, though. Anne knows what I know. They get to that island, and there's only like one single chick that is ready to fall in love. Sorry, Anna. I wanted to fall in love with you, but now it's fucking Finger City.
See, now again, thank you for that colorful euphemism. But again, that's the only part that bothered me with that. I love that they did kill him. I love that he had to die at the end. Made it realistic. I love that you get people who died, but it stops. It keeps stopping and going with just the audio of the water splashing, and like the cuts of like, we're out of gas, the food's rotten, we have a fire, get that camera out of my fucking face. You see the dissension, and it just keeps happening, and you're like just waiting for it. And then, they get to the island, put the camera down, so it's now stationary, and you see the bushes. Right, it's terrifying.
Yes.
You hear the dog bark. Dog runs off. You hear the barking in the distance. Then you hear the screams, and you hear the zombies, and then the gun. It's fuck. They died. Everybody died, and then it cuts to down with the sickness. And you're right. Music videos, zombie faces. It's fucking. That's the ending of the movie. Perfect fucking ending.
Yeah.
It's rare that I'm happy, but now that you've said it, I'm going to do like a Tony's ending. I would have loved if CJ said, you know what, fuck all y'all, and did stay there, and we cut back after the credits, and CJ is there in the mall by himself, defending it. Did he live? Did he die?
Oh no! The ending is him fucking eating a Hungry Man at the fucking kiosk, going, dumb motherfuckers. And he puts a big bite of fucking Hungry Man meatloaf in his mouth, and the music is like fucking I did it my way or whatever. You know?
See, I can't argue that. It would have actually been kind of cool.
Oh
He's
shit.
blowing bubbles up on the roof.
Just lets a red balloon go singly
Oh,
into the night,
shit.
you know.
Sitting across from a mannequin from Sears in a teddy, having a fucking
my
Hungry
God.
Man. Life is good. Okay.
Wilson.
Okay. All right. So that's it. We've broken it down. Fucking dynamite movie. Let's do a quick recasting couch. I'm gonna replace Anna with one Kate Winslet. Better actress, beautiful. There she is. Tony, what do you got?
I struggled with this. I couldn't. There's no one I would. The only thing I would do is maybe switch out Ving Rhames and Modern Family Guy and Mekhi Phifer because they were too famous. I would put nobodies in.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about the originals on is like there was no stars. Anyone could die at any moment. I knew Ving Rhames wasn't going to because he was Ving Rhames. So it's
Right.
like I'd rather have nobodies in there. I don't have anybody cast them with because I don't know nobodies, but that's what I would have done any kind of different. I would have just made full of nobodies.
Full of nobodies. Yeah, Anna was the only, I thought her acting was the weakest acting out of all of the characters. And to a noticeable amount, I was like, she's not quite up to snuff for the rest of these actors. Some of her lines felt a little bit B+ movie, if you will. So Lynn, what do you got?
Well, now if we're talking about replacing Ving Rhames, who I love and is a fantastic actor, but can we replace him with Samuel L. Jackson?
I knew you were going to do that.
Sure.
Motherfucking zombies in this motherfucking ball.
Oh, that would be fucking great.
Thank you. But my real recasting was I actually recast Michael with Ryan Gosling because every time I looked at him, that's who I thought of. So
cool, it works.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
I like Tony's idea though of making it all complete unknowns.
Agreed.
And I've said this on this podcast a million times. Nothing draws me into a movie more quickly than not knowing any of the actors, because then they are just the people that they are presented as, and you're like, I watch in real life. Okay, let's do some final thoughts and a rewatch score. Tony, you go first because I want to test the waters before I give my score.
Anytime I find this on cable, it's always on Sci-Fi like every few months, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch the rest of it, even though it's got the shit. I actually had to unwrap my special edition Blu-ray, so I was like, all right, it's the first time I've actually watched it, not on cable, and I forgot how much I loved it. Like this is gonna stay like in the top of the pile to just like, oh, I'll throw something in because I realize it's a movie full of moments. There's a lot of movies that's like, all right, story. There's I want to see that scene. I want to see that scene. This is a movie just full of, oh, this scene is after that scene, after that scene, after that. It literally is a non-stop movie.
Yeah.
It's like it very rarely pulls his foot off the gas. So it's like, oh, I want to see the Burt Reynolds get shot in the head scene. Oh, then that leads right to the next attack and the next attack. There's like no break in between. So it literally is A to Z, just a fast movie. And it's short, so you can rewatch it. I'm definitely giving it a higher one. I'm going to give this one like a 4.89.
Nice. Nice. Very close to the score I have written down. Very close. So Lynn, what do you got?
This movie's awesome. You like zombies, you like horror movies. This movie, if you haven't seen it, don't be like, oh, it's a remake, blah, blah. Go watch it. It's amazing. It's awesome. I gave it a 4.756.
Nice. Okay. So I can't go full 5 because fucking CJ left them all. Okay, that's it. CJ stays, eats the TV dinner, and fucking laughs at them. It's a 5. But for me, what I had written down was 4.69, but I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I want to go 4.79. This is a fucking great flick. Great flick. You don't even have to like zombie movies to enjoy it. But that does help.
Where's that put us, Dylan?
Okay, so that takes us to 4.812.
Holy shit, this is too high. This is too high.
No,
it's up there.
not.
It's too high.
It is number 6.
Number 6 out of 83. Out of 83 movies, this is number 6 out of 83
right.
movies. Okay.
What's in front? Give us the top 5 then. What's about it?
Okay, so number 1 is a 5-way tie. It's Beverly Hills
Oh.
Cop, Galaxy Quest, Lethal Weapon 4, The Thing, and Ghostbusters. They all have 5.
That's
Number 2
earned.
is Deadpool. Number 3 is Jaws and Dodgeball. It's a tie.
What an obscure matchup.
I know. Number 4, could you put a movie together with the two of them together? That'd be amazing. Number 4 is Creep Show. Number 5 is RoboCop. And number 6 is Dawn of the Dead.
You know, that kind of does fall there, yeah.
How cool would this be? Maybe on our 100th episode, we'll get some Hey, did you ever see that movie shirts made with the 100 movies on the back in order.
Love
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be pretty cool?
I mean, that would probably be very expensive. But
Okay. I'll just put it on top.
Per
I'll
order.
put it on.
As per
I'll put it
order.
on. I'll put it on Ted Underhill's credit card.
There you go.
a steak sandwich, another steak sandwich.
Yeah. Exactly.
Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right.
So that's it.
That
We've done
wraps it up.
Yes. We will be back next week breaking vinyl. We will be breaking down the Great Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.
Oh, really?
I thought so when I started listening to it. It's great in spots and it's long in other spots. It's a long rock opera. Got a lot going on.
You're just
there.
making friends with Tony big this week,
Love
huh?
the album. Love the album. Love Meatloaf. Just it goes on and on like me. Okay.
Then it should be right up your alley.
Okay. And next week on Hey, Did You Ever See That Movie? We will be reviewing Stuber. And we'll be doing that with Pat. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You ever see it?
Stuber?
Yeah.
The taxi one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus. I can't wait to listen to that one.
Fucking great flick. I saw it in the
My
movie
God.
theater. I had diarrhea. It was horrible.
Oh, that was you?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Tony, thanks for joining the show. Everybody that tunes in, thanks for listening. And until next week, I just have one question for you. And that would be, why did we leave the mall? See you later.